What's up, everyone? Tonight we are talking to someone I had the pleasure of meeting at the Pomona Super Show about 2 years ago. We've been in and out of contact. This guy has a ridiculous freaking collection. He's doing really big things up in Canada. Say hello to Mr. Will Moroz. What's up, Will?
All right.
Not much, man. Not much. Chilling.
Yeah, same here, dude. Just kicking it.
Yeah. I caught you in the middle of a sales call. This guy's a busy man, if you didn't know. Like, he can't even do an interview without a sales call going on. Like,
yeah,
proud of him. The hustle is real.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
So how are things on your end?
They're good, man. Working my freaking butt off trying to make something out of myself now that the world is like super COVID and I'm healed from the COVID. So yeah, man, like I got over being sick and I'm just trying to fucking get back to my grind, get back to the hustle. So
Dude, nonstop.
Hell yeah. So you I forget how long it's been. I know we've talked about this a couple of times. You've been in the game for quite a while. Like you started fairly young.
I was like 18. I'm 31 now, so.
You're baby still. It's okay, man. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't. Where is it?
No, I can't.
You ain't got too much of that shit yet. Don't worry.
No. Yeah,
that's why I shave up here too, because it started going too gray.
Started at it was like 18 or 19. I don't even really remember, to be honest with you. And just sort of, the classic, like, saw a ball python, I had ball pythons as a kid. That's everybody already knows that story. Had it as a kid, saw Mark Mandick's stuff, went down to Mark's place, saw the morph world, and it was just like, we're gonna the rest is history, basically.
So one of my favorite things about you, man, is how do I put this? Your thought process on things. Like you go to a whole different level of what most people think about. Like I remember, what was it, last year, the year before, when you put that starting my collection over. I was like, dude, I'm stealing this fucking idea. I'm going to tag you in it. That's fucking genius. Like, and it really brought a different thought process to a lot of people, especially those of us that kind of copied your idea. So kudos to you. Here's your clap on it. It was a great idea.
Thank you.
But what do you think's been your biggest contributing factor in your span of keeping and breeding reptiles that has led through that thought process? Like I feel like it kind of changes over time with
it does, but I mean, we sort of, right from the get-go, it's always been about like being like crazy with it. Like we didn't, for the longest time, this wasn't a way to make money or anything like that. It was just like, these things are awesome. Yeah, if it can pay for itself, great. It didn't for a long time because we kept everything. But basically, it was just like the double recessive stuff, working on projects that made sense. If that, like, and I don't mean that knocking anyone's projects, but just like what stuff that made sense to me was like, so for example, if you look across the board, the two genes that I would pick are going to be Hypo and Desert Ghost. And the only reason that I say that that's what I wanted to like streamline throughout the collection was because it doesn't overpower or wipe out anything. All it's doing is just adding to a combo, right? It's just when you take a Hypo and you make a Hypo clown, it looks better than a clown. When you make a Hypo pied, it looks better than a pied. And so basically you could take those two genes and add whatever you want into it, and it's not going to change the look of the pattern of your combo. It's just going to make it look better. It's going to brighten it, give it some more blushing, make it super clean, crisp, And that was sort of the look at genes that do that, and then add your your pattern stuff in. And that part's been relatively, I mean, it definitely takes a long time, man. Growing up it's like one of those things where you have to, like, your initial investment, you get all your original females, and then you grow them up for 3 years, right? It's like 6 years until you're breeding your own holdbacks. If you start with babies, it's like almost, they can be done in 4 to 6 years. 4 would be the absolute fastest you could do it. Everything 2 years old breeds instantly. 2 years old breeds. That would be pretty much as quick as you can do it. But approximately 5 to 6 years from the time you get into the industry to the time you're breeding your own holdbacks, and that's a long time for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people give up. They bail on that, or they bail on that, like, vision that they have, and they take the easy way out, which is, let's make visuals. Let's, not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not, do whatever you want, man. Like, it's not. Tell you how to run your collection.
Got you.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, sticking to your vision or your focus, like staying focused, is that's what led to where we are now. Staying laser focused. We could have been making puzzles now for a long time, 8-9 years now, and we've barely made any. We're just starting to make them, but it's because we put them into clown and desert ghost and lavender and pied, and so over the next couple of years you'll start to see all of those double visuals start to pop up. And same thing with desert ghost and with clown and with, so that was really just sticking to it. I think execute what you want to do, and just don't take no for an answer. Just keep going.
That's the hardest part for everyone starting out, though, because I feel like, so everyone jumps in, right? And they don't think it out, and they do the same shit that I did or worse, and they jump up from like 1 snake or 3 snakes to like 30 or 40 snakes, 50 snakes.
Yep.
And they get through
focus.
Yeah.
They buy you buy with your eyes and not with your head. And it's just like, oh, that's pretty. I want that. Oh, that looks awesome. I want that. And it's like, okay, I look at it like, why does it look awesome? That looks amazing, but it's not the right animal for our collection. I love that direction. I love that project, but I don't need it as a male. Maybe I'll take it. So, for example, something like a GHI Mojave. Very basic. I don't want that as a male. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Just for our collection, I wouldn't want that as a male. But I would, if I saw the GHI Mojave and was like, holy fuck, that thing's so visual, so wicked. And I was like, okay, so how can we tweak this? And it's like, well, I need GHI females then, or I need Mojave clown females, or I need, I'll take that as a female, and building it as a female. Yes, I'm postponing making a GHI Mojave that looks awesome now, and the urge to take a male and have it and see it every day is very high. But when you postpone that and you do it like with a purpose, why am I buying GHI het clowns? And then when you do it with a purpose, everything just comes together.
I think, like I said, that's the hardest part. Like, you hit that year and a half point, like right before they're about to breed. And everyone that jumps in that way, that's the make or break point for most, like between that 1.5 and 2 year period, because you've been feeding all these animals, you've been housing all these animals, you have no freaking return because you're growing them all up, unless you picked up a couple of breeder size, but you're fighting the uphill battle. And that's why most companies fail, and why most people give up at 2 years, is they're not seeing that return. They don't have that patience. They don't have that forward vision that will your dream into existence, to go with the title and kind of do a play on words. You know what I mean? Like, it's
so true. Like,
focus is 100% required, like you're saying, brother.
Staying focused is hard in this, because there's a new flavor of the month all the time. There's a new gene that everybody wants. There's a new, this was hot this year. This is not that hot the following year. But and Desert Ghost for a long time. Like I'll use Desert Ghost and I'll use Puzzle. Both those genes when we picked them up, nobody really cared. It was Bananas and G8 that was the big ticket stuff. Nobody really cared about Puzzle or any of that stuff. And now everyone cares. Now and it's just when you take a new gene, don't expect to sell it based on its name. Sell it based on what you've done with it. Prove to people this can do something. When you're like, okay, does I don't know, let's use Puzzle as an example. Don't just buy Puzzles because like, oh, Will told me Puzzle's great. That's a ridiculous reason to buy it. Buy Puzzle because you've seen combos that other people have made. And you're like, damn, I like what this gene's doing. I want to buy that. That's what I'm talking about. Like staying very, very, don't just, yeah, like I don't really know. Just don't buy just to buy.
Right.
And if you stay really focused and you build your collection slowly and very like methodically, you can do really big things in not a decade. Takes about 10 years to really get going.
What do you do now? Like obviously you're looking for specific genes, but what does Will do when he's walking through like Pomona or CBRE or whatever, and you're looking for that next addition to the collection?
I don't. I go to the shows to see people, not snakes. Snakes are there. I love seeing what people make. I love talking to people about their projects. But I'm going to spend time with people that, shake hands, introduce myself to people, just hear from people that, follow us. I love meeting all those people that, I interact with, putting Instagram accounts to faces. That is what I look at a show. Don't get me wrong. If I see an animal at a show that just works, I'll buy it. But I don't go to a show really with the intention of buying a snake.
Okay.
I haven't bought a snake at a show in, oh man, it's been a while. Well, there hasn't been a show for a while, so there's that too.
So when you're looking on the internet thing, like what, or you're going to another breeder, what steps are you taking before you purchase that animal? Like what's Will's progression, I guess, is what I'm trying to figure out.
I have my finger on the pulse of our collection, basically. So I kind of know what I need, what would work. And as if you live this day in, day out, then you really start to, okay, I know what my collection's lacking. I know what it needs. I know what I have too much of, or I know what, I don't need to be buying this stuff because I'm going to make a bunch of it this year. Or, I look at stuff like, I actually just picked up a male from Fireball. I bought an Enchi Desert Ghost Hypo 100% het clown male. I looked at that male and was like, how long will it take me to make that? And if that answer is like 3, 4, 5 years, buy it. And I couldn't make it quickly. But buying that as a male is, wow, super powerful. Every clown you make is double head DG hypo. Every DG clown you make is 100% head hypo. And hypo DGs are, holy shit, they're nice. So that's the type of way that I look at it. I'm like, how long does it take me to make? If I had the chance to make that this year, I still might have bought it and sold the one that I made. But yeah, it's hard to answer that because it's so. Is it a really beautiful animal? Is it possible het for something else? Because that couldn't sway a decision. If it's just if I'm looking at a hurricane clown and someone posts like it's a hurricane clown, 50% het Desert Ghost, I'm going to take that chance because I'm looking for a hurricane clown anyway. If it ties into my projects already, why not? So that's the sort of that's the sort of way I look at purchasing stuff. And I don't. When you are buying animals, keep your feelings out of it. Everybody doesn't. Nobody does that, to be honest. I've bought animals from people I don't like personally, and they have the animal that I want. I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot over a personal thing. A personal disagreement makes no sense. You know, as long as the person's like reputable, takes care of their animals, there's no like, you know, don't be buying stuff from somebody who's like a known scammer or some shit like that. But yeah, like just, I don't know, take your feelings out of buying and buy with your head, not with your heart or your eyes. Just buy smart. And you can get wicked animals doing it that way. Like you can build crazy collection doing it that way. Oh my God, and I find it more fun. That's not true. Hatching eggs is awesome. But I find one of the most fun things about this is like the collection logistics. Like trying to like tie. I'm working this project and then I'm working this project. How do I combine the two and go off on a new? That part's really fun, because in order to do that, you need to start doing it now so that it ties together 5 years from now. So
it's hard, man.
It's
hard not to buy with your eyes.
Yeah, and I shouldn't say don't buy with your eyes. Obviously, if you see something that is visual, don't buy with your eyes, but use your eyes to educate your brain. Like, look at an animal and be like, I really like. So, for example, I love how cypress and spot nose interact. Wicked, like, fuck yeah. And I don't have a single cypress spot nose. Actually, I have one, but we don't have a bunch of cypress spot nose. But what I do have is spot nose heads growing up, a multitude of different genes in there. Like spot nose had clown, spot nose had puzzle, spot nose had DG, and the visuals or other heads on the other side. So I can start to go cypress spot nose puzzle, cypress spot nose clown, cypress spot nose DG, cypress spot nose DG clown, and tie them together. And just by having cypress, like, I hope that's making sense. If it might not be making sense, just the way I.
No, it definitely makes sense, brother.
I think, like, I use my eyes to be like, I love this combo, I like what it can do. But I use my head to be like, I don't need it now. I need it in 4 years. You know, I need to start developing it before buying it I buy a cypress spot nose male, and what do I do with it? You know, I'm not going to breed it to a visual clown or a visual puzzle, because I personally feel like I have bigger fish to fry than doing that. So I want it on the female side. Now it takes me longer to do it that way, because I have to raise her 3 years, then put one, take one of those heads 3 years. So I'm 6 years away from making something like that. But when I get to that point, it's like a cypress spot nose, ODNG, DG clown type thing. It's like, oh Christ. You know, so that's what I mean by doing it that way. Everyone else can make the cypress spot nose now. I'm looking at what does that cypress spot nose do for me in 4 years, 5 years.
And that's kind of leads into the next one is, how do you, because I assume you're the one that picks out all the pairings, right?
No, my dad and I both do.
You both do?
But we go, like, it's like a 2-month process. It's not just like an overnight. It's like, here's our male list, here's our female list. And a lot of them are like no-brainers, right? Like, I'm not going to breed like a clown pied to a double het DG clown. They don't really, I mean, you could, I guess, but they don't really tie together. So like you have like your DG clown group, your DG puzzle group, all those groups, but then it's all the other stuff, all the other moving parts that you want to like, and we brainstorm. Okay, so we write out a male at the top of the page and we do a little diagram. Let's say we bred this Wookiee clown to this. Are we making any like duplicates on the season of this pairing? Well, we've got 2 pairings that can produce the same thing. Okay, well, maybe we don't need to do 2 pairings. We're going to swap that male out. We'll use a different male to give us a bit more variety, different, you know, it's way more to it than just like, people think we just grab males and toss them in the bin. Like, no, it's like.
That's not how this works?
No.
Damn, man, I've been doing something wrong for Jesus.
Yeah, no, we may overthink it, and it doesn't always work that way, but doesn't always work the way you write it out on the page, right? It's easy to write them on the page, but is it does it actually like materialize? And not always, but when it does, stick to your plan. Write out, like people say, like if you have goals, write them out. Right. Write them on paper. Write them on a piece of paper. And if you got pairings, write them out. Put them on paper. Make them official. And we go through. I don't know. Shit, we probably. I don't know, 40 hours worth of talking about the pairings, like a full week, nonstop, just pairing. What are we doing this year? How can we change it? You know. And I started to help other people with their pairing list. I don't do it all the time, but because it's labor intensive, right? To really learn someone else's collection is hard because I'm not there. I don't see the animals. I don't know seeing it on paper is a different thing than like knowing what's going on, what's coming. What did you hatch this year? Like if I hatch a female this year, that's really, really great. I might do a pairing in an effort to make a good male to breed to that group of females. That way it's like, as they're growing up, I'm making a male. They sort of mature at the same time and bang, you can jump. The worst thing is having a female and no male ready for it. It sucks, especially when it's like a purpose male, or a purpose female. Last year, we had 2 double het, they're actually triple het, Desert Ghost Cryptic Tri-Stripe females. I didn't have a male for them. I could have made, potentially, Desert Ghost Tri-Stripes last year, but I didn't have a male. Sucked. So, and even this year, we've got a male for it, but he's young. He's a 2020 male, so we'll see if he can swing it. But yeah, plan out your shit. Make it fun. Make it like a big chess game, Just keep.
That's where I was gonna go with it. You kind of
keep tweaking and moving around your collection, and it's just you'll get some outcomes that you're not happy with, and then you'll get outcomes that you're thrilled with. And sometimes gene interactions don't work the way you think they will. Doesn't mean give up on them. Just try a different angle. Try a different approach. If we said that black pastel red stripe clown was if that was the only like leading up to Pompeii, if somebody trying to make a Pompeii got to a black pastel red stripe clown, it was like, meh, it's not that great. But then you add spot nose and yellow belly, bang, like you get a crazy interaction, way more visual than a black pastel red stripe clown. And so just sometimes it's just like a removal of one gene or the introduction of one other gene that just sets a combo on fire.
Oh yeah. So
sometimes.
How big is the collection now?
I don't know. Big. It's its own thing. It's its own living thing.
It's its own living organism. Watch out.
Yeah. No, it's I think we're probably 250 breeder females right now. Another 120 subadults. And we did about 450 babies this year.
That's huge.
Which most of them are gone now. So
that's huge.
It's big, but we're gonna potentially get a little bit bigger, just enough to beat the odds. And the way I look at it is like, we look at the way the market's going and where it's going, and I think everyone will probably and do good. Triple recessives are going to be very, very, very hard to do. You guys think that double recessives are hard? Dude, double recessives are a joke compared to triples. Because when you look at a double recessive, a triple recessive is legitimately 2 times harder. And you will make 2 times less. And if you're using hets, 4 times harder. And you'll make 4 times less of them. And so you look at stuff like Dreamsicle. Took 15 years to go from, say you lost $1,000 a year on a Dreamsicle. 15 years ago, they were 15 grand. And every year, 15 grand, 14 grand, 13, 12, 11, And it's, triples are going to be so fucking hard, man. And they take so much space, and like the amount of animals you have to have, and just, holy smokes, it's not going to be an easy thing to tackle, and you got to be smart approaching them, or you'll get 5 years into a triple and go like, shit, now what? How do I add this? Well, fuck. You could get 5 years into a triple and be like, well, I want to add yellow belly to this. And that's a 6-year project on its own just to add one gene into it. Like, it's going to get. So my recommendation to approach that stuff is to load your double heads as much as you can. You load the double heads, the triples get a little easier because you can put genes into the triples a little bit easier. But we're not even really chasing triple hats. It's not really our thing. Not going to do the triple hat stuff eventually, but I think approaching triples like a double is the way to go.
Right.
So we're going to wait until we can make a Orange Dream, Enchi, Desert Ghost, double het, clown pied. And then you take those and you put them together, and now you're starting to attack triples like a double with double recessive odds. Because when you get into like this, man, we go through 4 or 5 clutches of double het to double het, shooting for double visual recessives.
Jesus.
And we did something like 30 something eggs. And if you look at the odds, it's 1 in 16. So you go through 32 eggs, if the math is right, 32 eggs to hit 2 double recessives. Now, when you get into triples, you're 1 in 64 with triple heads. And man, that's even if you hit it, then what? Where do you go with it?
How long is it going to take you to get another one to grow that project?
So if somebody says to me like, okay, let's, for example, you've got, let's just use pick a triple recessive.
I don't know of that many. Like, I think
pick 3 recessive. Albino. Let's just say you did lavender clown pie. Okay, lavender clown pie. There's an easy one. You take triple het lav clown pie to triple het lav clown pie. 1 in 64. Let's say you hit the odds and you hit your lavender clown pie male. How do you add Orange Dream? How long does it take?
8 years, 7 years, or no?
Ish.
6.
You breed that.
6 to 8.
Now you may be able to at that point maybe make like an Orange Dream clown double het lavender pie. Because you may have like an OD het clown, or maybe you have like an OD, I don't know. It is minimum at least a 3 to 4 year period just to add one simple gene. And it's just going to get more and more difficult. Like we have a hard enough time friggin' adding one gene to a double recessive. Like realistically, look at the double recessive combos that are out there. They're not like super loaded combos. They're generally pretty like 2 gene, maybe a 3 gene double visual. Try and get into 2, 3 gene triples. Oh man. So I think the best way to approach triple is with approach the triple by take every step you can to reduce your odds. So try and make, if you can, make a double visual that's het for something else. That drastically reduces your odds. With a 1 in 64 shot, you're now at a 1 in 16 shot, right? And it's like, okay, we're starting to, but it's not easy at all. Plan that shit out, man.
It's hard, man. Like,
write it down and be like, okay, how do I, starting today, how do I make, and pick a project you want to make. You know, is there like let's say you want to make a hypo G-stripe clown. I think it's going to be awesome. What are your steps to get there? And I'm not like do it for yourself, just your own.
Right. No, I got you.
Just an exercise that you should do is just sort of like look at, okay, this is the animal that this is a direction that I want to go. I want my collection to be doing this sort of thing. And maybe it's a hypo G-strap clown. What is your, write out the steps, how many years it's going to take to get to that point. And then when the right animal comes up, you'll understand why it's priced that way.
Right.
Because you have a 12-year plan written out, and someone's going to post an animal for $6,000, and you're like, oh my God, that's expensive. It's like, well, it's nothing compared to 12 years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a lot of time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a, man, there's just, and that's what's so fun about this. There's just 50 million different directions to go, and gene combos we've never even heard of, and we have no idea how stuff interacts. I mean, shit, man, we're finding out that, like, in the last 3 years, we found out that Black Pastel and Enchi were allelic. And that's like within 3 years, man. That's not, they've been around for fucking 20 years, those genes. What else is allelic that we don't know? We just found chocolate spot nose. Who guessed that one? Not me. There's no way I would have guessed that. We're still just starting. We're just starting to understand what we can do. It's endless. I think I could legitimately draw out plans that would last the rest of my lifetime. Legit. 30, 40, 50 years. No problem.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate what you're putting into it, but that's just insane to me. I feel like over that period of time, your taste is going to change. Like, and it's hard because you have to, once you're that vested into a project, you either have to carry that project or
you can pivot. Nice thing about a lot of these projects is I don't think anyone is going to, and that's why I said with Hypo and Desert Ghost, I don't think anyone would disagree that, I think everybody, if you offered them a clown, they'd be like, if you offered them a clown or a DG clown or a Hypo clown, put those three animals on the table, guarantee you every single time, if you show it to somebody who knew nothing about snakes, every single time they're going to pick either the DG clown or the Hypo clown over the regular clown. And that goes across the board with pretty much every combo with those two genes added onto it. They're just, you just make everything look better. I find it funny, some of the retic guys are like, oh, the retics are already amazing. You can never make a ball python this bright. And I'm like, bitch, hold my beer. Just watch. We can do this. We can do this. It's not impossible. Desert Ghost Hypo stuff, it's gonna rival some of the retic stuff. Maybe not in pattern. They're gorgeous patterns, but it's doable.
Are you picking up my child screaming?
I thought it was a parrot.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids, man.
Right? Infants, man. Well, I guess not infant. He's a toddler, I guess. He's getting ready to hit 2 years old, and he's teething and not happy and doesn't like to go to bed.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Will.
No, it's all good, man. I can barely even hear it. But yeah, there's a...
I can hear it through the noise-canceling headphones. That's why I'm worried about you.
I honestly can barely hear it. Like, barely.
What would your advice be for that new breeder? Like, just stepping into the game, and we all have our starting points. Like, obviously, it's based off of your financial situation when you first come in. But regardless of that, like, say you could buy whatever, you could do whatever for a setup to start out. What would your absolute, or not absolute, but like, what would your advice be for someone that's looking to first get started into the industry?
With an unlimited budget?
Well, don't go crazy, but yeah, like I'm trying to make it easier for you.
Unlimited, buy whatever the fuck you want, so you can just keep buying.
Right.
Right, like, who cares? You just buy whatever you want. Buy with your eyes. If it's on money, it doesn't mean shit. But for someone like, pick again.
Well, I feel like if you're getting into this for a business aspect, obviously you have to be a little bit business minded. So you're not just going to spend all the money. Like, obviously you're going to get the quality stuff, but my idea on this, or I guess what I'm trying to draw out of you, is more the thought process to set yourself up for success, or like the steps that you would take to set up for success.
So that's going to be really, I've always believed and felt that it doesn't matter what project you work, as long as the genes aren't defective, like spider, or you're not making stuff that like are, you know, have wobbly issues, or caramels that are kinking, stuff like that. As long as you're not making defective animals, it does not matter what direction you go, because go the direction that you like, because that's what's going to keep you interested over 10 years. That's what's going to keep you excited every time there's a clutch hatching. If you get no excitement out of hatching clowns, don't work clowns, man. It doesn't make any sense. You might sell them financially, but it's going to show long term that you're not advancing the project, you're not excited, you're not being innovative, you're not doing any of those things. And work what you like, because what you like is, at the end of the day, you're the one cleaning the shit and changing the tubs and pairing them and doing all. You might as well have something you like looking at, or at least that you see the potential that you're excited about.
Right.
That's just the way that I look at things. And you look, man, you can almost will a project into limelight, into like people caring about it, by being contagious about it. Like, if you are excited, you truly are excited about the project, other people are going to feel that. Other people are going to be like, yo, why are you so excited about this? I don't see it. And then you just need to prove them wrong. That's all that it is. And it's so easy to do. Like, so easy to do. Just, it gets easier and easier the longer and longer you're in it, because you understand what things do, how they work together, and you can just look at a gene and be like, this is going to work with this. And that takes time, that takes experience, but I just don't think that you can, I don't think there is a bad direction. Now, me personally, I probably wouldn't go into stuff that really, like, what, if you look at what people like, right? If you look at the snakes that like make people go like, wow, contrast always wins. Always wins. And so that's why, that's one of the reasons that pies everybody loves, because you get that stark white to color contrast. One of the reasons Desert Ghost looks so amazing is you get that like black to color contrast. It's like and the cleanliness is just so like, it looks like it's painted. Clowns, you throw a lot of contrast and cool pattern. That's another one that's really cool. But when you start to like remove contrast from an animal, it becomes less appealing to your eyes, right? I'll use the example like a lavender snow, an axanthic lavender. It really washes out. There's probably a gene out there that'll make it pop, make it really cool. But one of the problems with lavender snow is they're hard to photograph. In person, they're quite pretty, but they don't have that contrast that makes people like, wow, look at that. Whereas something like a pie does, and that just depends on the genes you add to it. Puzzle doesn't have a ton of contrast. I mean, it's as contrasty as any other pattern gene for sure. But puzzle's a pattern gene, clown's a pattern gene. Add contrast to pattern and you have a win. Almost every single time. So look at genes that what gives you really good contrast, and that's Alyssa, I'll send it to you. I don't remember what it was, but I'll get you. Yeah, it's just pattern and contrast, and if you can combine those two, you've got magic, because you can just go for years working that. For example, I look at Desert Ghost Clown. I think it's amazing project. I think everybody agrees. It's just everyone loves clown. Let's make it better with Desert Ghost, right? And one of the reasons that project is going to be so strong for so many years is because clown is so fucking cool. Like there's the 1,000 clown combos that have been made that we get to just redo and make them look better. That's a win. Desert Ghost Pied, Hypo Clown. Like you're just those genes. I just get to redo clown combos over and make new ones while I'm at it. But they're gonna look just better. You know, like a spot nose clown versus spot nose DG clown or spot nose hypo clown. Holy fuck, man! It's a huge difference, and that's just one gene. Can go for years. Now get them all together. Spot nose hypo DG clown. Shit. It's going to get insane.
Do you have the comments?
I can see some of them.
Okay. They're throwing me off a lot. I'm paying attention, brother. I promise I am, but they get like little spurts. And I've done really good recently at ignoring it, but the speed that it was going for a while,
just burning up. Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, it caught me for a second.
But yeah, man, that's look at what. So I guess back to your question is work with what you really like, and that's what's gonna. Now you can make financially good decisions. I don't think you can go wrong coming into the market. I don't think you can go wrong working recessives or doubles with another head on there. Building a base across your collection is an important thing to do, I think.
100%. I like it, man. Like, I think my hardest thing to get over is I was very okay. I'm looking for quality animals, but I also I was so specific about being able to see the quality of each individual gene in an animal that I wasn't willing to spend that $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000. And now I'm looking at animals that are like $4,000, and I'm like, well, I got to create payment plans and shit because I'm not a rich person, but I could see the genes coming through, or I can see the quality of the genes that I'm looking for in that animal, and I'm able to make or pull the trigger on that animal essentially. Where when I was first starting out, it was all okay. Well, I don't know this gene that well, and I need to make sure that it's a quality gene. It's not like that faded out already. And so I'm at that point where, okay, I'm going to produce this year. I'm going to produce next year. Do I want to expand and still keep those, or do I want to look at entering those proven breeders back into the system for someone else? Because I know it's still a quality animal.
The quality is such a relative term. Like, that's why I find it. We used to do the quality above all as our sort of motto, and we kind of dropped it because it's so relative. There are certain genes where I think as an industry, we agree that this is the benchmark for quality of the gene, or how, like, what you were looking for in a gene. So again, you're gonna want. I'll just use Desert Ghost as an example. You're looking for like really rich blacks, really bright yellows, but again, some Desert Ghosts go silver. Does that mean they're bad quality? I don't think so. It just means that they're gonna do a different thing.
Right.
What is a quality pied? What is that?
Well, for me, like when I say quality, I'm looking for stuff that like retains its color as it grows. So I have.
Okay, but what if it's getting darker, and what if you're looking for your plan is to make like blackhead pies? Maybe quality for you is a really dark pie to work off as your base. So quality is a very, very like relative thing, right? You can't just say like, oh, this is such a quality animal. I see it so many times. People say it all the fucking time. And it's like, what? Don't get me wrong. There are certain genes where, again, as a market, we decide this is what we consider quality. This is what we consider mid-range. This is a poor quality. And I think with certain jeans, quality is much, much more relevant. So Desert Ghost is a great example for a quality jean. Look for good Desert Ghosts will make good Desert Ghosts. Shit ones will make shit ones. It's just the way that they work. Lace is another jean that I think look for quality stuff. I see Marshall in the chat. That guy's been making insane lace shit. It's just like, dude, he's working with a really good line of lace. Seth from DD Exotics working with a really good line of lace. But I've seen a lot of lace stuff that's not that impressive. But then there's a bunch of people that are making lace stuff that is very impressive. To me, the one that impresses me the most is quality. But realistically, what's a quality clown? Busy, reduced, really gold, really dark. Flip a coin. What are you looking for? Right?
I like that. I like it.
Such a hard thing to answer.
It is hard. Like, it varies with each. And I see where you're coming from. 100%. Like it varies with each gene and that person's perception on the gene. When I say it is like they're holding colors, they're not browning out, and that's what I really look at. Like I have an almost 4,000 gram Mojave right now that still looks like it's damn near a hatchling. Like the colors just pop on it,
right? And
it's just a single gene Mojave.
Now, quality also comes down to the bloodline that you may be working with. I've got a Firefly female that throws every single one of her babies, comes out at like 100 grams, not quite, but it seems like it. They come out huge, they grow, they eat, they're just beasts. Is she a quality snake? What if she's a little bit more dull than a typical Firefly, but they're really, really good eaters? Is that quality or not quality? Like, it's such like a term that's just like quality in, quality out. I hear that all the time. Or make sure you quality above all. And it's one of these terms that's just like, okay, but what is it? And there are definitely examples that I think throughout the industry we say like, okay, with a pastel, this is what we're looking for. This is what we want in a pastel. Dark blacks, high yellow, as limiting as much of the freckling as you can. The less it browns out, the better. That's what we consider a quality pastel. But when we get into like, we have so many genes and so many different directions to take a gene. Well, man,
you're never going to fully see it anyways. Once you get into that 4 or 5 gene combo, you'll never be able to pull every aspect of one gene out.
Right. And I've seen like the most dog shit normal looking pastel I've ever seen throw lemon yellow pastels. Why? I think there's way more to this that we don't understand. Way, way more to it.
So you've been in 14 years, 15 years?
Going on 13, 14, something like that. I think this year is our 13th year breeding. I think. Yeah, something like that.
So you're a very focused numbers guy. What has been your level of growth, and what do you think is kind of like that safe zone for people? Like, what percentage of growth would you expect per year to sustain or to excel in this industry?
Again, that's going to depend, again, entirely on what you want it to be. Do you want this to be a full-time job with 4 employees and a spanning business that ships through all of Europe and Korea and Japan and Hong Kong and US and Central America? Do you want to do that? Then you need to be big. You need to produce a lot of stuff. But do you want to, do you want this as just like a supplemental side hobby where you can, I don't want to do 20 really nice clutches? Then growth is going to be different for you. So it totally depends on what you're trying to do. Yeah, it's hard to answer that again. It's going to be different for everyone.
Damn it, Will, you're going down the middle of the road for everything.
It's just the truth.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
It's the truth. I mean,
honestly, I expect it from you, which is good. Like, because it's talking about how we were earlier. You look at things. I said a different point of view. I think you try to look at things from every angle before you jump into it.
Yeah, it's something that you need to like. Look, man, do you want this to be a giant, non-stop, 24/7 ball python business? Your phone never stops dinging from notifications. Do you want that? Be careful what you wish for.
You sure you want those problems?
You sure you want it?
No, you want that 3 o'clock in the morning call from someone that didn't even buy a snake from you, but has questions about the snake they bought from someone else?
Yeah, I love I love doing it day in, day out. Don't get me wrong, absolutely love it. But it becomes, when you have a big collection like this, it becomes a little trickier to take a 2-week vacation. It becomes a little trickier to do. You gotta have someone that you really trust doing what your day-to-day shit. You got your rodents you're doing your rodents. If you're doing that, like, you're just 2 weeks away from the rodents. It'll never happen. So you need to have someone there that knows what they're doing and knows, so it is what do you want it to be? Because that answer will be different for everybody. If you want a big 500 clutches a year, that's a huge.
So we'll jump it, because I don't plan on being that 100 clutch a year fit. I don't even plan on being at 50 clutch a year. Say you're just looking at hobby, you're looking at I think I'm probably going to max out at 20 to 30 a year max. Inevitably, because I plan on breeding 30 females a year. So out of that, I'm probably going to have 5 to 10 that probably won't take every year, maybe more. Who knows? But to grow to that rate.
Basically, if you're asking for like the percentage of holdbacks that you should be holding back versus, and that's going to depend on what you hit, what your odds were like, what the clutch was, what the pairing was. But basically, let's say you want to do, let's just call it, you have 100 females, right? 100. I would be definitely looking to hold back 30% to a 30% turnaround on your female. So if you're drawing a hard line in the sand and you're like, I always stay at 100 breeder females, by year 3, I'd be replacing 30 females a year. That's enough to fold over your genetics year after year and advance your stuff enough. Maybe the first few years, it may be as high as 40, 50%. It's a lot of females to get rid of, though. It's a lot of them to move. And if they're good, they're very easy to move, especially as adults, holy. But yeah, I'd say probably 30%. And as you get bigger, it's going to be less, because it's going to be much harder. Let's say you have 500. It's going to be pretty tough to be moving. It's not that hard to do, but it's just one of those things that it's going to depend. And it's going to depend on your odds. It's going to depend on your clutches. It's going to depend on what projects you're trying to do. Are you really diving into some triple recessives? And you're going to have to hold back. You're probably going to have to push that 100 female line a little bit further and be like, okay, I'm going to do 120 and have a 20 group of stuff in that project, if that makes sense. So, yeah, it's going to be different for everybody. But I'd say like 20 to 30% maybe.
I think that's fair. I mean, I'm planning on, depending on if I get 3 clutches, I'm looking at probably 4 to 6, because a lot of my stuff coming out this year is based off of heads. So I need that 1 to 2, or at least that 0.2 to breed back to in a couple of years to go for my visuals. You know what I mean?
So like for some of this stuff, you want to, it depends on where you want to go to. If you're trying to get to 100 breeder females, then you'd be in growth mode, right? So right now this is what we did for the last 10 years, pretty much, is just like produce the best that you can possibly make, the most versatile and the best hats and maximize your collection's return and keep it all. Be your own best customer. Because if you look at what you made and you're like, well, I can sell this, but I have to buy something else to fill in its place. If you're making stuff that you can't just go buy, then you're in a good spot.
I like it. So let's get back to you and your company. We've been talking a lot about business.
Okay.
I've kind of been on that tangent for a little bit. It's kind of in my headspace because I'm at that point now. Like I got to decide where I want to be at, if I want to ever bring in a crew or shit like that. So I've been picking brains essentially. Are you a Star Wars fan?
Yeah. I like Star Wars. I mean, I'm not like obsessed with it, but like, yeah, if it's on TV, I'll watch it. And then Wookiee, like,
that's where I was going.
Yeah, no, for sure.
If you couldn't tell, if you looked at the thumbnail, everything on there has Wookiee in it.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's I like Star Wars is awesome. When I got the Wookiee stuff, I actually went on a little bit of a binge, and I watched like 9 Star Wars movies in like 2 weeks.
Jesus.
I was like, I need to stop fucking doing this. I watch like a movie like every night. They're like 3 hours long each. Yeah.
Dude, that last one's hard.
Yeah.
Like it's a great movie, but it's so hard to sit down and watch it all at once.
Yeah, they're good movies. But yeah, no, the Wookiee stuff I like it. I think it's really cool. I think there's a ton of potential there. Tons.
I think you freaking hit it really well, man. Like you had how many clutches? I think it was like, I'm going to completely blow this out of the water and probably be fucking way off in left field, but I think it was like 6 or 8 clutches worth of Wookiee stuff. Probably more, but this past year. Yeah. I felt like I saw a lot of Wookiee come out this year.
This year was not the greatest Wookiee season for us. This year was actually a really bad, I'd say overall a disappointing year. We missed a lot of odds. Great. I mean, as far as like eggs go and production goes, it was great. But the odds were just, man, were they bad. Like some of them were just awful. And like they were so bad that some of the odds were so bad that they were good. If that makes sense. Like it would have been like head to head and hitting like all visuals because we hit all fucking normals. Like it's, But this coming season, you're going to see some Wookiee stuff. We're going to really start to dive in. I mean, we've seen Justin start to do some really neat Wookiee clown stuff. He took the GHI Mojave route. Hopefully, we can add to that Wookiee project this year. I think there's some cool stuff to be done, and I mean, we haven't even touched the surface. He just made 2 cool combos. Like other than that, I haven't seen hardly any Wookiee clown combos. So hard to.
Gorgeous, man. I think even in a single gene, Wookiees are pretty freaking gorgeous.
They are. They're very nice.
One like
a chocolate on steroids, just twice as nice. And and a lot of people think the Wookiee is like a chocolate. It probably is. It's probably in the same complex. But I can say that from the chocolates that I hatched chocolates this year and I hatched Wookiees this year. And if you put them side by side, you're like, show somebody like a lot of chocolate stuff until it ages a bit, you can easily mistake it for a dark normal or something like that. You are not going to mistake a Wookiee. If you see a Wookiee out of the egg, you're like, yeah, it's not normal. It's really, 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 really dark, and they have a bit of a. What I've noticed with Wookiee, that opposed to chocolate, is Wookiee's got a bit more of like has like a kind of a copper hue in the head, and a lot of the combos have like a coppery kind of tone in the head. Yeah, man, I think it's a crazy cool gene. Lots to do with it. Barely been touched.
It's what, like 4 years, 6 years?
Maybe? Yeah, something like that. It's been out longer than that, but no one's been doing anything with it. right? And we got into clown. Hopefully this year we won't see it as a visual, but we'll see Wookiee head puzzle combos. So that's exciting. Next year we're going to start to get in, not this season, the following season, we'll start to get into the super stuff, super Wookiee combos, see what that does. A lot of it's going to be trial and error, but I think you can look at chocolate combos and get an educated guess on how it'll react. I think it's just going to have that slight edge over chocolate stuff. And chocolate's amazing. Like, I'm still working chocolate very extensively.
Give you a different contrast almost.
Yeah. Very cool. They're much more different than you realize. They're like a chocolate clown versus a Wookiee clown are very different looking animals. So I think they're cool. Both of them. I'd love to see them get together, actually.
What's your favorite new gene right now? Like, maybe not something that you would necessarily pull in right away to your collection, but something that's caught your eye.
Can I say my own thing? Chaos. This chaos stuff that I've been working on, I think is really cool. That would be definitely up there. As far as like a Kodam or something like that, I have it, but it's got to be lace. It's got to be. It's.
Don't you go raising those prices, Marshall?
Bro, legit.
You just upped Marshall's fucking stuff.
The thing with lace stuff is that you don't really realize what it can do until you have it and hatch it. They photograph okay, but just like everything else, in your hand is a different thing. And they're just so sick, man. They're just so sick. Like there's not many genes that I would be like, I want this across the board in my collection. Everything. Not many. Orange Dream, Desert Ghost, Lace. Lace the collection, I'd be happy with it. But you couldn't come to me and say, like, I want to put Enchi and everything. I'd be like, oh, no. I don't want Enchi everywhere. I don't want GHI everywhere. I don't want banana everywhere. I don't want, leopard everywhere, or spot nose for that matter, everywhere. But Lace, OD, and Desert Ghost, go ahead. Every fucking combo in the room, put it into it. Yeah.
Like
Marshall made a blackhead phantom lace. Like, dude, what's gonna happen when you like that snake? I bet you in person is so sick. And what happens when you double up on the blackhead and the lace? Super blackhead phantom white lace, like, bro, what the fuck, man? That's gonna be so sick. Yeah, it's a really cool gene. What else is really neat that's out there right now? Sunset's kind of cool. I've been kind of watching it. It's not my go-to right off the bat, but most slept on recessive, I'm going to go with Tri-Stripe. I'm going to say for sure it's Tri-Stripe. I think there's a lot to do and no one's doing it. So we're going to try it. We're going to see how it goes.
Someone has to start it.
Well, other people have started it. Sometimes when you're at a point where your collection's at a point you can take something and really, really develop it quickly because of what your female power is looking like. And so with the Tri-Stripe, I feel like we're in a pretty good situation to make some cool stuff pretty soon. Sterling's making some crazy Tri-Stripe stuff. Phil Robinson's making some insane Tri-Stripes. But I don't know, we'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
It's
hopefully with a little RCR twist on it, which is obviously Desert Ghost. But yeah, or Puzzle Tri-Stripe. Who knows? I love it when people tell me I'm thinking about a combo or I'm chatting with somebody on Instagram. I'm like, what do you think of this? They're like, oh, it's gonna suck. I'm like, ooh, I'm making it. Bet you it won't. Yeah. And if it does, cool. Like it will really, but I have to try it.
Right. Well, that's part of it too, because that's going back to what you were saying. Like, what you like, I might not like.
For sure.
So
for sure. Like, I'm not a huge pied
do whatever
advocate.
you want.
Like, I don't love pies. I like pies, but I don't love pies. I don't have this like unconditional love for pied. I have a love-hate with pied. Really nice pies are really fucking nice. Some pies are really not that nice, and that's the thing. But like, I can say that I'm like not a huge pie guy till I'm blue in the face, and there are hundreds of people that are like, "You're fucking retarded." I shouldn't say that, but you are stupid. Pie's amazing. How many people love pie? It's
Everyone.
You know, it's the gene that brings people to the
every
industry.
female loves pie. It's
Every
like
male
the bracelet.
female.
I don't. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Like, I do appreciate a very nice pie. Like, if you show me something that has a lot of contrast, or even is just really rich in color, like the ODYB dreamsicles.
Oh,
Or
gorgeous.
even OD dreamsicles, or
Same, man.
the yellow belly dreamsicles.
Same.
The contrast off of that white to just pure orange is insane. I appreciate that.
And realistically, like,
so hard.
black pie, the Suma pie, it's pretty sweet. Like, you can do some really cool stuff with pie.
They're pretty.
And I just to me, it's not I don't hate pie. Not by any means. I have quite a few. I like them actually quite more than I let on. But they've got to be the right pies for me to like them. The right pies, I love. The pies that are very high weight, I'm always like, so much potential there, but why are they so high weight? You know?
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
Number one animal produced, both by yourself and who you think besides yourself in the industry. Who produced the best animal besides you?
Wow. You're going to hit me with that, eh?
Yeah, I am. I put Joel through this last week too.
Wow, dude. I'm going to say for us, the Desert Ghost puzzle. That would be my probably highlight. Boy, the nicest animal produced by someone else. Fuck. It's going to be a pied, man. It's going to be Ozzy's OD Desert Ghost pied. His OD Leopard DG pied. Crazy. Man. Can I just say Oz? Can I just say Oz across the board? Because he made a super OD yellow belly puzzle that's top of my list. He made a super OD black pastel cypress. It's just fucking nuts. I gotta just Oz.
Hell yeah.
Final answer.
Mentorship. How important is it?
Ozzy's production has impressed me the most over the last 3 years, for sure. Don't get me wrong, other guys are making crazy stuff, but Ozzy's stuff just got that spark to it. There's something else about it. Just wow.
They're vibrant. Everything that comes out of Ozzy's shop is vibrant.
Yeah,
I fully agree. Mentorship. How important is it?
Very easy. Very easy to get lost. Very easy to just, and you don't have to have the most experienced guy mentor you. You can mentor two newbies can mentor each other, but just having someone else to, talk with, chat with, someone who may maybe just ask someone a question, hey man, does this seem like a good idea? If anybody's has questions, man, I'm busy, but shoot me a message, I'll do my best to answer it. And I try to take the time to read them. One of the problems is that sometimes somebody will send me a message and then I try to give them my most appropriate answer, and then after that it's ding 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 50 messages. And I'm I have to message them hey man, I will read these, I will try to get back to you, but I can't dedicate half an hour to you right now. I'm just in the middle of cleaning something, I'm in the middle of doing something. I will try to get back to you. So yeah, I think mentorship is an important thing, but it's not Yeah, we didn't really have like a mentor. I mean, Mark Mandick would have been probably the guy. Mark and Ralph Davis would have been my two. They really helped us out early on, get us in the right path. Maybe not the same mindset as both of them. They're a little different mindsets, but we kind of looked at this as like, we're going. This isn't a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan. This is like 25-year plan. What are we going to be able to do? And it's going to get crazy, man. Crazy. This year we should start. We should start to see like the fruits of our labor really start to come together. You still got to hit the odds, but everything we've done up till now is child's play. Put it that way.
That's bold. That's a bold statement. Very bold.
True.
I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I'm just saying that's a very bold statement.
Man,
you produced some pretty badass stuff already. So to say,
thank you, and I appreciate that. I think I agree with you. I think some of the stuff we've made is really nice. But like I said, it's child's play compared to what's coming, and the complexity of what's coming is what makes it look so elementary. Like I said, it's gonna get crazy. We're gonna get into stuff that's just like how do you make this again? Like I'm not. You think it's like a joke, but it's not. Like it's gonna be.
I just you.
No, I know what you mean, but like even like some other guys, man, you're gonna get in where the industry's heading is like somebody hits a OD Enchi Desert Ghost Axanthic pie. Make that again, bro. Hard to do. And I'm telling you, like, what's going to happen, and anybody can do it if you stick to your plan. If you stick to your plan year in, year out, don't falter from your plan, stick to it. There comes a point where it's time to start putting this stuff together. Right. And it's coming.
Oh yeah. You have one show that is not CBRE that you can visit every single year. You didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Tinley.
Now you're gonna make me actually think about other questions. Damn it.
Hey man, it's not even a question. That's
even with being in the California shows, everywhere else, just automatically.
What's that?
Even with being in the California shows and everywhere else, just automatically
Tinley. Dude, Tinley. The quality of animals and you're just getting Pomona is much more of a pet show. It's much more of a pet show. Tinley is going to be the show that I get to like talk to other breeders and really like discuss projects and which way are you going with this and did you see what he made? And I go over and check out this animal and chat with him for a few minutes about it. And Pomona wasn't as much like that. Pomona was a blast. Don't get me wrong, tons of fun. But Tinley's the show that I want to be at to be like submersed in the ball python thing. Yeah, for sure.
Still waiting to do my first one. Supposed to last year. And
Tinley, it's yeah. We were just ending our first one. That didn't happen. Yeah, it is what it is.
What is Will's worst habit?
I don't know. To ask somebody else.
You gotta have something. Like besides being a workaholic.
I'm not really a workaholic, man. I like to chill quite a bit. My worst habit.
Getting deep on you tonight.
I don't really know, man. Like I'm sure I got them. Like I'm definitely have bad habits. Biting your nails, maybe. Holding back animals. That's a good habit. That's a very good habit. I don't know. You'd have to ask my girlfriend about that one. She'd have 40 for you though. Yeah.
So did you make a New Year's resolution or do you not believe in them?
We did.
So what was one of your New Year's resolutions to better yourself?
Better my health? No, it wasn't.
No. What was one of your resolutions to better yourself? Or was it all focused towards the business?
It was really to just like, it was focused towards the business. It was to basically to just like, if you're going to do this, we're going to go for it. Like, we're going to really take a swing at it. And just like, let's, you know, one of my goals is to put out a YouTube video at least once a week. So 52 videos on the year. We started a Patreon. I wanted to give everybody on that daily content, which we've done so far for 18 days now. Yeah, it's hard. No, it's all good. Everyone on there is super chill, super fun. No big community there. But basically, it was just like, if you're gonna do the ball python thing on this scale, like live it, breathe it, do it, talk about it all day. You talk to people on the phone about it. I don't stop talking about it. It's just, so the goal was to like go for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
I like it. What do you think has been your biggest asset in the last year?
Pardon me?
What was your biggest asset to the company in the last year? Not like purchasing an animal, like making a connection or just finding a way to better do time management or something along those lines.
International logistics, shipping internationally, figuring it out, doing it ourselves.
It's a huge move. That's a huge freaking move.
Figuring out the paperwork aspect, what's required, how to do it, finding the right contacts in the different countries that that we have now, and shipping them out. Just pulling our own CITES and not relying on someone else for a super vital part of your business. Doing it yourself, because there's lots of like the companies that do the shipping. They're great too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking them at all. But I have to rely on them for exports. And when I have to rely on someone else, then my customer's relying on me and I'm relying on someone else. And it goes down the line. And if they're relying on someone else, any part of that chain gets broken and my customer's upset.
Right.
And that's the number one thing that I don't want. And so if I can remove those two links of the chain and do it myself, then it's on me, not on anyone else. And nobody cares. No other company or anything is going to care about our business like we will. They're not going to care that about your customer's satisfaction like I will, right? They're just not going to. And so doing things ourselves was really the big one, I would think. And that's not a knock on the shipping companies at all. I use them still to ship throughout Canada and stuff. But for exports and imports, I'm doing it on my own.
Sorry, give me just a second.
Yeah.
I'm being an asshole. Earl Jones is calling me right now. Just to prove it. Like, mentor calling, I have to tell him, hey, I'm live. Fuck off. Oh. So we talked about assets. You talked about shipping. I've never gotten an animal or seen your setup, but I know everyone has kind of like their signature thing that they do in their box. Like with me, I know when I give an animal, you do the typical shit, right? Like you throw your business card, you throw your stickers or whatever in, your magnets, and everything that everyone's jumping to, right? What's the signature thing you feel you do in your shipping that makes your packaging or just the way that you present your animal stand apart?
So I think the brand,
besides just the animal, obviously, because
right, yeah, no, the animal stuff is obviously I strive to produce quality animals, but I think so. I've basically what I've done is I've gone and I've gotten a wedding invitation made, And it was that's what it's for. It's a wedding invitation, but I had it customized to suit RCR and have the RCR logo, and it opens up. And then I think there's 2 cards in it. A thank you for your business. I generally write somebody a little note. Generally, there's a card of an animal that we've made in the last 12 months that we thought was pretty special. We want to show with you guys. And then what's it called? Then I'll do like your ID card. Just like a little bit of a personalized touch, not so much just like a thanks for buying, here's the business card. Like, you know, I go to your customer's page, their Instagram page, look at what they've produced. Look at an animal that stands out to you. And I write them a note. I write them a little like congratulations on producing that spot nose clown female, looks like a keeper, can't wait to see what you do with her. You know, do those things, like connect with your customers, and it becomes not just a customer, but like it becomes like a friendship, you know. And it's like some of my best friends are definitely throughout this industry. There's no doubt about it. And you know, I talk to, you know, some like it doesn't matter what you spend, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. But it's just one of those things that I think is important to. You know, I try to go above and beyond, and we just actually rolled out something for people that purchased out of our 2020 season, and we did like I think you're probably starting to see them pop up. We did like an RCR puzzle box, so we got a cigar box made, and it's engraved. It says RCR Volume 1. You open it up, and there's a little package in there for people, and there's a contest that we're doing for the customers on the 2020 hatched babies.
Nice.
So yeah, just little things. I mean, it doesn't have to be and we're gonna do that every single year now. I think it was really cool, and a lot of people who have gotten them thus far, I've gotten really good feedback from. So yeah.
I don't know how long you're willing to go. I did forget to ask you that.
All good, man. How long do you need? You can go all night if you want.
I'll do whatever you want to do. Your biggest, or we talked about shipping. We kind of talked about your growth a little bit, or what you think growth should be. What's the next step for Will? Like, what's
more growth?
Focus?
Just keep growing. Never stop. Don't take your foot off the gas. Keep trying to make projects better. Keep trying to, you know, work them harder. Take different approaches. Approach things with a different angle. Yeah, man, that's it.
Oh yeah.
Just keep going. You know, and it's just so exciting because it's endless, and I like chatting with people. I like talking about other people's projects. I like to understand what people are working on. It gives me a bit of an idea. Sometimes I get ideas from guys that have been in this for 4 months. They're like, you know what would look really cool? They're like, do you have, some of them are like, hey, can you do this? Like make this combo. And I'm like, yo, I didn't even think of that. That's a good ass idea. And then, yeah. And then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If I can do it, I'll try it. You know?
Oh, yeah.
New question. Do you worry about maintaining humidity in your room or just the tub? I prefer the room. Important than people think. I mean, obviously, we're up here in Canada. We get really humid summers and really dry winters. So we go through a bit of a dry season where you definitely are going to deal with bad sheds in the winter and all that stuff. You try and jack the humidity, try and boost it. But in the summer or in the winter time, it's, you know, we get dry. So, but we never had any side effects from dry. We've had it like our room has gotten down as dry as 30%, and we obviously 30% is way too low, so you got to jack it back up. But a humidifier generally will do the trick for you. Bin humidity is probably the most important thing, but room humidity is. What genes are you excited to get into hypo puzzle stuff? I'm working on spot nose yellow belly hypo puzzles. That'd be cool. That'd be a really cool direction. I'm not really working much hypo puzzle. I'm doing desert ghost puzzle. Looking at spot nose yellow belly is on my radar as well. I'd like to do like fire and OD and red stripe and all that stuff. But yeah, no, those are gonna be really neat. We should. I mean, I shouldn't say should, but decent odds that we see spot nose yellow belly puzzle combos this year. Hopefully, maybe even in clown. So that could be pretty neat. I think hypo puzzle is a great project. Great project. Anything that you make as a puzzle is going to look better as a hypo puzzle. So, man, I don't know. I doubt it, dude. Like, honestly, like, I want to really see what it can do. I've made like 3 or 4 chaos animals total, and they've all just been pastel or pastel vanilla chaos. I haven't done leopard or enchi or really see the pattern manipulation or what it's really capable of doing other than in very, very basic pastel. I haven't even made the straight chaos yet. It's been either pastel or pastel vanilla. And this year, we're breeding chaos to chaos, pastel vanilla chaos to pastel vanilla chaos. So we'll see. That could be really crazy if we get something like super pastel or super vanilla pastel chaos. It could be crazy. But I think with that project, realistically, I'll probably sit on it for 4 or 5 years, to be honest with you. 4 or 5 years. That gives me a bit of time to understand what it does, how it works, determine a value on it, because right now, is it super visual with pastel? What if it does nothing with leopard? What if it does nothing with spot nose? Then you're going to be disappointed. And I don't want to set somebody up for that. Yes, it's a risk. Most guys would say, fuck it, I'm putting a big price tag on it and selling it. But I want to know what it does before I let it go. If I did, I might potentially, it would be to somebody that I want to work the project with. Like I want to like you and I would be the 2 guys doing it, and I might release a set of hats, something like that. But it's they're not gonna be going anywhere in big numbers. I just need to see what it does and make more of them and figure it out for myself.
With them or with you going to your weekly videos,
yeah.
Do you plan on doing like a vlog style? Do you plan on just showing the process? Do you plan on doing like basic education for beginners? Like where's your mindset?
A little bit of both. I'm not huge on the vlog style personally. It's not my personality. I tried it and realized it's just not me. It's just I don't like doing it. I don't like hey, what's up? You know, like it's just not for me. I'd rather put a tripod out. I do a quick little intro about what we're going to talk about, and then let's get the snakes. And I think the reason people come to the channel is to see snakes, not to see me. And I don't want it to be about my personality. I want it to be about the snakes that we make. The product that we're putting out for customers is the snakes. And yeah, pretty much it. So no vlog, not really vlog style.
No, I understand. I went away from, well, I dabble in it. Like I call them vlogs and I kind of jump around the place, but I still wouldn't say that it's technically a vlog style because I'm fucking shitty at telling stories is what I've realized.
Yeah, no, I don't want to story
tell. It's like I like to just say, hey, this is what it's about, and I'll show you. So
yeah, I give a little teaser of what we're going to be talking about at the beginning. Go to the intro, talk to you guys for a little bit about what we're doing today. Hope everyone's doing well. You know, you do that sort of thing, and then basically it's just, you know, last week we looked at this. This week we're going to compare apples to oranges and look at this, and here, let's get right into this. I'm way more comfortable just talking about snakes than I am talking about me, I guess, merch, shit like that. I prefer to talk about snakes, to be honest.
They're all over. Sorry. I like it, dude. It's good.
What's good?
All of it.
Not all of it's good.
No, it is all good. I think not a lot of people are willing to do it is the issue. Like we feel like there's an overabundance of it at times just because that's who we're around. So you focus on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. And when you do that, that's what you notice. Like if you want a freaking red Corvette, every red Corvette in your town, you're going to fucking see.
And you see them everywhere. Right. It's funny. As soon as you buy a new car, you see them everywhere.
Right. Because that's what you're looking for now. That's where your interest is. So I understand it. Like when we're looking at other channels, for me, it is kind of personality. Like I'll read off of whoever's video I'm doing, and I do it really bad with Brian. Like I notice I trend with Brian a lot, even when I'm not trying to, because I've watched him for so long.
Yep.
That my thought process kind of follows with it. You know what I mean? So it's diversifying, but also staying relevant. And it's hard in YouTube because we all get caught into kind of saying, okay, well, this is what this person did, so it should work. Right?
No.
Especially if you're looking at it. Well, if you're looking at it from a monetary standpoint, like they're going to see something that works and they're going to be like, okay, this is what I have to replicate. And you got to realize it's not always like that. You have to kind of show your personality. And even if your personality is, hey guys, how you doing? We get enough of you out of your videos that we kind of know who you are.
Yeah, you pick up the mannerisms and stuff like that. Yeah.
There's small things that kind of drive me nuts about certain people's videos, because they don't do like you, but they'll stand in front of their racks, right? And they'll be like, this is what today's video is about. But they're like me, unfortunately. Like they're very fucking monotone, and I have to fight myself over it. Like I'll re-record shit 2-3 times because
me too.
I'll listen to myself. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like just a little inflection, man. Just a little bit. That's all it takes.
And one of the things I think people get so nervous about is people not liking them. Like that's a big thing. People like hate that, right? At first, when we first started YouTube, I get a dislike and I'd be like, that motherfucker, who was that? But realistically,
I love it.
Like I just don't care anymore. I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever. Like at first it's like, because it's a new thing to you and people are like, nah, this sucks, and they're disliking it. Like, what did I do?
Yeah, it sucks. I just fucking started. What do you want?
Yeah, but it's not even a thing. I just my recommendation, and we don't have a big YouTube channel at all, but my recommendation for anyone who's even thinking about it is to just do it. Start letting people. I think one of the things that people do wrong, no, who might I say wrong, but one of the things that they do, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Maybe they try to like start a YouTube channel and come off like a pro all the time. Like, I'm a pro, I know exactly what I'm doing. Well, I think it's much, much more relatable for someone who's starting out on YouTube, or starting out even with like a collection or something along those lines. I think it's much more relatable to be like, look, guys, we're starting a collection. We've only been doing this for 6-7 months or 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is. And follow along with us as we make mistakes, as we learn, as we grow, I just watch the growth of what we're doing here. And if you like the animals and you like me, then great, follow along. If you don't, there's 3,000 other channels you can watch.
And I think that was one of my issues when I first started, because I have how old am I? I have almost 20 years experience with reptiles. But I have the experience in the pet trade aspect of it, not the personal keeping and breeding aspect and all of that. It's just, hey, you get a wide variety of animals in. You got to keep them all alive. You got to keep them all healthy. So that part I understand.
Sure.
Very good at that. What I sucked at was understanding the breeding process, understanding how to like read the snake for breeding.
Yeah, and
It took a long time.
That comes with just time, man. You can't fast track that. That's the other thing is that you'll learn certain things that I just know how to do now and just do naturally. Basically, I have a very hard time putting it into words as to what I'm actually doing. So I'm not very good at explaining what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. It's one of those things that you just like. It's my personality. I'm not good at explaining what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. Well, I think I know what I'm doing. I don't know, really, man. Just winging it, you know. But yeah, man, it's just one of those things. We just, yeah, man.
I got you. Fuck yeah. It's hard, man. Like, and especially when you know what you're doing.
Right, yeah, quote unquote.
You're like, fuck, man. Like, I know how to do it, but how do I explain this? And then what if someone else does? And it's not even that you got to fucking worry about someone else doing it a different way, but it's always kind of in the back of your head, I think. Because you're like, I'm going to put this out and someone's going to fucking say something. And it's not so much that they say something that I'm worried about. It's I know my personality. And if you're snark to me or you make a smart ass comment to me, you're getting it in return. Like, I'm sorry, that's just who I am. I'm gonna do it back. Be like, well, everyone has a different way. Why don't you learn a different way, dumbass?
The way I look at it though is those people are when it's so easy to comment on someone's video when you're JZ4623 on YouTube. Super easy to talk shit. Super easy. But actually message me and talk to me. And maybe you don't agree with what I'm saying. Maybe you don't like the project I'm working on. But I don't fucking care. Realistically, at the end of the day, do you lose sleep over it? No, man. I got a whole collection of shit to worry about. And I got people that actually want to know what we're doing and are actually asking what we have available that I'm going to spend my time with, not the negative stuff. And if you focus on the negative stuff, you just start to...
You go down that path. You manifest what you believe and what you focus on.
The people that matter. And the people that are like, you know, just, yeah. There was a situation where a buddy of mine, there was I can't see Will's hat blends in this right. It's the floating RCR logo. There was a situation where a buddy of mine posted some snakes for sale, and a guy decided to message him and was like, "How much are you looking for this animal?" And he's like, "I'm asking $500 for this animal." He's like, "Well, I can get it here for $200." He's like, "Then do it." Like, cool, do it. And that guy got so pissed off that he wouldn't sell him the animal for $200 that he got him and 15 of his friends to go leave him bad reviews all over his social media pages. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Those are the people that I just like, okay, you're out of here. Like,
I like the trolls, man. I enjoy the trolls.
Some of them are funny. But I do get a good kick out of like a good troll. Like someone who's good at it, like I respect the troll. You know, it's like I respect the chirps. I do, you know. I'm that way with like I don't chirp people, chirp my friends all the fucking time. You know, all the time. That's all we do pretty much. Some of these group chats where we just roast each other. And it's you know, that's that part is fun. So when someone's good at it, I respect it. But it's yeah, some of them are just awful. Anyway, we're giving them way too much conversation time. Fuck them. Yeah.
What are you manifesting? Like, what are you going to manifest next? I guess this year, because the year just started.
Explain what you mean. Like, what am
your
I
thoughts become your manifestations. So what are you going to manifest this year, Will?
I'm going to win the lottery tomorrow night. And Sweet. No, I don't know, man. I think just I think really seeing some projects through this year. This it's such a long process raising stuff up, making the double heads, raising them up, and then we're getting to the point where we're 6 years into the project or something like that. And it's this year is the time to start to see some of those through. Start to see the end result, not the end result, but a more completed result of the project, and that part's exciting. I think this year could be really good. Could be a really good year. If we just had mediocre odds this year, it'd be still a pretty decent year.
You said you were shooting for what, 500 clutches?
No, Jesus, no. Holy.
There's your lottery.
No. Like if we did probably 100 to 115 range, be my guess. Somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah. You guys have crazy lotteries down there.
Mm-hmm.
Like crazy, like $500 million lottery.
I don't touch that.
What?
I don't touch it, man. I don't believe in gambling.
Oh, dude. Why are you breeding ball pythons then?
Because I like to gamble.
Yeah. That's what we all love. That's the addiction.
I am highly invested in the gamble of ball pythons and the stock market. I think that's enough gambling.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at it like, are you putting a puzzle into the Wookiee project? I'm going to put Wookiee into the puzzle project. Change it up a bit. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Should be cool though. I can't see it being a bad combo. I think it'd be pretty neat. Yeah.
Well, guys, I stole Will for about an hour and 45 minutes. If you have, like I said, if you have questions for him, send them now. I already kind of did my lightning round, and I don't write shit down. Like everything that you hear on these is literally straight from the hip. So.
Right off, yeah. Are you going to not buy any female DGs this year so Kathleen can? Yeah, like I'm probably not going to be buying much Desert Ghost stuff, but if the right one comes available, absolutely I'll pick it up. But don't worry, Kathleen, there'll be some Desert Ghosts this year for you.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
unless something catastrophic happens.
You tell him, Will.
What am I telling him?
When are you sneaking into the country to visit us?
Oh man, I wish, guys. I really want to come down. I really want to just, hang out. It's just that's the one thing I miss the most. But yeah, dude, it's as soon as I open the border, I'm there. Straight up. As soon as I'm allowed to go, I'm there. As soon as I can go without having to quarantine for 2 weeks when I come home, because that's what's stopping me. I almost pulled the trigger and said, screw it, I'm doing Arlington. But we decided not to, just because it was just so much,
Well, you got 2 more months now, so. Arlington got moved to April, so.
I still, personally, my gut says it's not going to happen for us, for Canadians, to go to Arlington without a quarantine. And I don't think anything's going to happen until we have the vaccine rollout. Is my guess. I don't know. Like nobody knows, right? But God damn, I wish they would open it up. Like I really wish they would. Any final words of advice for newbie breeders getting started? Honestly, Tom, work with what you like, man. It's just like enjoy it, take it slow, don't rush into anything, don't overextend yourself with too many animals. Just enjoy the process and learn. Like look at breeders that are working with a multitude of things. So you're going to look at like guys like Justin, Miguel, Ozzy. Those guys are working with a wide variety of stuff, and there's tons of other guys. Follow lots of people on Instagram. Start to look around on Instagram and look on Morph Market and look at different genes and how they're interacting, and and pick a plan and be like, okay, this is where I want to go with my collection, and start working on it. Does it cost extra for us to buy snakes from you in the US with you being in Canada? No, it does not. It costs absolutely zero. I handle the shipping cost. So it's free shipping. Yeah. With reason. Like if you're messaging me like, hey man, can you ship me a $200? Yeah, like those generally, like I'll do it, but like I'll add the shipping cost that I incur on top of it. But as a general rule, it's included in the price of the snake.
Okay. So do you want to promote? So all I put was your YouTube and your IG. I didn't know you had a Patreon until tonight.
Yeah, like it's there. It's for people that are just want to follow along with what we're doing on a much more like behind the scenes personal level. So it's not a pay me to answer your questions. I'll help anyone anytime as much as I can. If Patreon's something that you're interested in, then check it out. If it's not, no hard feelings at all.
You want to plug all your stuff?
I think everyone knows. RCR everywhere. Royal Canadian Reptiles, literally everywhere. And YouTube. What are the other ones? Facebook, Instagram. I guess Patreon now. I think that's it. I think that's all of them. Yeah,
man. Brother. Thank you for sharing a lot of advice tonight.
Yeah, man, anytime.
Kind of talking about your story and willing your dream into existence.
Yeah. Yeah. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much. We will catch you on the next one. See you Monday.
Cheers, guys.